There once was a man with ears, you see. In the dead of night, he'll come for thee. He'll drag you into the woods to scream. Soon shall the bunny man come, to take you away from your dad and mum. Soon shall the bunny man come, and your soul shall belong to him. "Catherine, stop!" I'd scream when she'd sing it, and she'd just cackle and sing it louder. I can only still remember my sister's face because of that ghoulish smile she wore while she tormented me. We grew up in New Zealand, so the shanty was something we'd sort of came up with. A few kids had added some creative lyrics to the original, usually something about farty men or something. But Catherine had turned it into a song about the bunny man. She was forbidden from singing it at school by our parents and the teachers at the middle school we attended. She took it as an excuse to sing it for me at every opportunity. It was usually sung low or under her breath, so my parents couldn't hear it, so she could deny it when I went to them crying about it. It was in poor taste anyway. The bunny man may have been an urban legend, but the man going kidnapping children was very real. That summer, 13 children had gone missing in the city where we lived in. All of them were from poor families like ours who lived in tenement buildings. Like ours. They always disappeared in the middle of the night after being lured out of their home. And there was always some sign left behind that tied them together, whether it was sprayed paint on the door, the fence behind their house, or the side of the building where they lived in. The calling card was always left in plain white spray paint for the police to find. A white rabbit head and a white circle, the sign of the bunny man. My sister started humming the little shanty after the 7th kid had gone missing. I had heard her in her room, working through the lyrics as we did our homework. She would hum them to herself in that distracted way people do when trying to figure out something. As she scratched away at math problems, she would argue with herself and make corrections to the grisly shanty she was constructing. I would shudder to myself as I heard what she was writing, and I think I became her horrified little brunometer. The more I shuddered, the more lyrics I heard that stayed in place. By the time school had started in August, her shanty had taken form and she began her reign of terror. Catherine and I were 2 years apart, and I started 6th grade as she started with 8th, and she seemed to delight and terror the other girls in my class with her bunny man song. She would walk behind groups of students, humming the tune as first as they walked through to school or lunch. Then she would begin to sing the words to herself, low at first, building volume until a few of them started to hear what she was singing and becoming noticeably upset. Then she would run up behind the group, caterwauling the last verse as she sent them screaming and running in all directions. That's how she earned herself a suspension from school and grounding by her parents. That was when she was home that night, the night of December 15th, the night the bunny man did indeed come. We were both grounded that night, actually. My sister was grounded after being suspended from school for her bunny man shenanigans. She didn't care much. She was happy to put off her schoolwork and watch TV all day and suffer the wrath of our parents. I, however, was grounded for encouraging these antics by saying I had seen the bunny man. It wasn't a joke, though. I wasn't trying to encourage Catherine in her bad behavior. I had woken up for 6 nights in a row, hearing someone humming that shanty and going to the window to see who it was. I couldn't actually be hearing anyone, I realize now. The loft was on the 5th floor, looking out on the vacant lot and road behind the building. There was no way I should have been able to hear anything. I could, though. I can clearly remember hearing the shanty hummed in a gravelly baritone that sounded as though it were right outside my window. The first few times I heard it, I went to the window and looked out into the lot. In the moonlight, there he would stand in the road. A man in a dingy gray rabbit costume, his eyes glowing yellow and ears cocked almost jauntily. My parents would hear me screaming and come to my room running to see what was going on. They would find me on my floor, screaming and pointing out the window, always gibbering about the bunny man. After the 3rd night, I didn't even go to the window. I would lay in bed and sob as the shanty bore into my brain. I would sob and call for them, screaming about the damned bunny man until finally, my father couldn't take it anymore. That's why both of us were grounded on the night in question, and our parents were out. It was supposed to be a family night. We were supposed to go out and have a meal as a family, see a movie, maybe get some ice cream. Instead, my father had been using it as a punishment for my sister after she had gotten in trouble. We three would go out and have fun while she stayed home and did not. My mother, however, thought this was a little harsh, and she had been pleading with him to reconsider all week. This made him a little short, and after being woken up by screaming all week, he had reached his limit. He grounded me as well, thinking I was trying to egg my sister on with all this bunny man nonsense, and announced that he and my mother were going on a date instead. We'll be back at 10. You're to be in bed by 8:30. If I come in and you're still awake, you will be severely punished. Then they had left. For a few hours, we gotten along pretty well. Catherine made dinner, heating up some canned pasta in the microwave, and then we watched some TV as the sunset and the evening wore on. It wasn't until 8, when I got off the couch and started for bed, that she started in her old ways. She asked what I was doing, and when I told her I was getting ready for bed, she asked why. You heard Dad. If we're still up and he gets here, then we'll be in trouble. Probably just scared that the bunny man will hear you're awake and come get you. I'm not, I lied. You're in such a hurry to go to sleep, so the bunny man will come and peek at you while you're asleep. Cut it out, Catherine. She leaned towards me, grinning that awful grin. Oh, there once was a man with ears, you see. I put my hands over my ears and started running away as she sang all the louder and chased me. In the dead of the night, he'll come for thee. Stop it, Catherine, I sobbed. We were running up the hall, and as she wheeled into my room, I tried to slam the door and lock her out. She batted the door aside and wore down on me, grinning and singing as I covered beneath the window. I was covering my head with my arms, sobbing uncontrollably as I tried to block her out. She stalked towards me, bellowing the song and shaping her hands like claws as she walked towards me. Soon shall the bunny man come too. She stopped suddenly, and as the silence stretched on, I opened my eyes and looked up to find her looking out the window as she loomed over me. She was staring out the window, transfixed by whatever she saw there. And this new game was almost scarier than the shanty. Her face held a look I was unused to seeing. She was startled, unsure of what she was seeing, but it also appeared that there was terror there. Something outside the window had really spooked her, and I scrambled up to peek under her arm so that I could see. It seemed I was peeking into one of my nightmares. Hope you guys enjoyed today's story. Thank you so much for listening. Huge thanks to the Redditor u/eurutous for granting me permission to narrate your story. I really enjoyed narrating it. Thank you so much. Now once more, I hope you guys enjoyed today's story, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So, don't forget to sit back, relax, and indulge in fear.